And good afternoon. My name is Ryan Belmore, owner and publisher of What's Up Noop. It is Wednesday, October 9th, just after 2:30 p.m. And 1 week from today, early voting starts for the general election. You'll be able to do your early voting if you're in Newport at the Board of Canvassers, which is a good question because the elevator is down. I am going to make sure that nothing is going to change there, and I will write that down and follow up. And then I guess the last day of voting is what some people are calling it now, or general election day is November 5th, just a few short weeks later. All last week, all this week, we've been chatting with candidates for Newport City Council as well as Newport School Committee. We're making our way through, and we're on Newport School Committee today, and then we have 4 more over the next 2 days. We have chatted with all but one candidate on City Council, all but one candidate on School Committee. So you can compare, contrast candidates as the interviews come out. A couple of different ways to consume them. We turn this into a podcast, so you can listen to it on the go. You can read about it if you're really on the fly, or you can watch the 30-minute interview, which you may be doing now. You can watch it live or anytime afterwards. So that's what we do with all of our interviews. Today is a familiar name to me and probably to many of you as well. She is Loretta Burke. Lori Burke, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Ryan. Thanks for doing this. It must be a tiring task, but you do a really great job.
It is a tiring task, and I'm glad I'm only focused on Newport so far this election season. We'll see about the other towns. But one cool thing is getting to chat with all these different people, meeting some people for the first time. You and I know each other, and also hearing that, you know, this was going to be my final video or something I put in a newsletter next week. For the most part, everybody kind of has the same ideas and wants the same things. And
I agree.
If you know, it's just so people have to decide what they're going to vote on. Are they going to vote on experience? Are they going to vote on attitude? Are they going to vote on how people work with each other? But that's all to be talked about later on down the line. I'm familiar with you, but some people might not be. Tell us about yourself.
Oh boy. So yeah, Lori Burke. I live in the 5th Ward. I have 2 daughters, and I will soon have a 4th grandson.
Holy cow!
Which is pretty crazy. My background is I grew up as an Air Force child. My father was in the Air Force, but I have pretty deep educational roots here on Aquidneck Island. My Nana, Loretta Murphy, who I'm named after, was a kindergarten teacher here in Newport for many of the residents. I keep hearing stories. So she was kindergarten. My mother taught here. She taught at Linden. My grandfather, Cornelius Murphy, taught at Rogers, and he was the dean of students, and he was on the school committee a million years ago. So that maybe it's coming out at this stage of my life. It's in my blood.
Did anybody else carry the Cornelius name in your family? Is it still going?
Yeah. Well, my uncle has it.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. I love
know.
it.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty rare. But we would come back every summer, even though we were growing up all over the country. I have 3 sisters, come back to see my family. And then I came back here permanently. And we were stationed here a couple times also. Came back permanently around 1989, I guess. And like I said, down in 5th Ward, a lot of people know me from my, I think, 15 years at the Newport Athletic Club. I worked there for, that's usually the first thing people say, and then I say athletic club, and that's usually what it is. I've been here, I'm at my work now at the Newport County Chamber of Commerce in the Innovate Newport building, and I was able to find a quiet little spot to come and chat with you, Ryan. So I've been on with the chamber for 11 years.
Yeah, I was going to say that's how I thought you would have said that most people know you is through the chamber.
Believe it or not, it's still athletic club. But
yeah, because you have a unique role with the Greater Newport Chamber of Commerce, where you connect with a lot of people.
I do, and it's the funnest job in the world because I get to talk to all industries. I get to go where people work. I get to, pick their brain about what they like, what their challenges are. And then also I get to invite them to all the fun things that we do here at the chamber. So, but it does give me a perspective between the talking to different people via the chamber and my experience growing up as an Air Force child, moving all over the country. It gives me a pretty unique perspective, I think, on some of these issues that we'll be discussing here.
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty busy. What made you decide that you wanted to run for school committee and why now?
That loaded question, Ryan.
Yeah.
What made me decide? Well, I have a couple friends who have been encouraging me to run for a few years now, and I keep saying, no, 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 I can't do it. And then finally, after seeing the state of affairs that exists right now and existed back when regionalization didn't pass, and I remember thinking to myself, what the heck? What is going on here? Why do these seemingly common sense things not take place? And so I decided, go for it. So here I am. Here I be.
So what the heck? What is going on here?
Well, that labor dispute is pretty yucky and should get resolved quickly, I would hope. I don't know all the ins and outs. I know some of them. I will learn more, but hopefully it'll get resolved before too long so that everyone can move on, because it's got to be affecting everybody: parents, students, teachers, administration. It's really not good for a school system to be going on like this. Yeah, the regionalization thing failing a few years ago really did kind of give me a wake-up call. And then I look at where we are right now. Now we have 3 brand new schools being built between Newport and Middletown. We have a declining enrollment. It makes little to no sense to me that we're doing this and spending this kind of money for what results, especially here in Newport. Test scores are nothing to write home about. My platform, if anybody asks me, I say, I just want to get back to basics, people. Let's just get back to reading, writing, and arithmetic, and having these children leave the school system being productive members of society. And that's what I hope to help out with.
Yeah, and how do we get back to basics? How does a school committee member influence or help or change things to get back to basics?
Well, a school committee person can vote on certain things that come down the pike, whether it's, okay, should we vote? Should we adopt this policy that maybe isn't related to education so much? I do think there's a lot of distractions within the school system that maybe take away from getting back to basics, and that's upsetting to me, because it's the children who are affected by these adult issues that they probably shouldn't, or it's not in their best interest for them to be involved with some of those types of issues. And I think the teachers are challenged as well, because I hope and I believe that most of them entered the teaching world to do just that, teach, and not get so caught up in everything else that's going on. And I also think that, COVID wasn't that long ago, and that was devastating to everybody involved, but especially the children. And I don't know whether we're getting back to where we should be quickly enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to go there. COVID was just a couple of years ago. I think
Yes.
4 years ago. I don't know when we were officially out of it or over it, or I'm not sure, but we'll get those, I guess, in history or something. What makes you so passionate about? It sounds like some of you could have ran for city council. You could have.
That would be really nutty.
Yes, but I know. Well, what makes you so passionate about education and being a part of this? Is it because of the grandkids coming up? Grandsons make you do crazy things like run for school committee. What can I say?
Yes, it's very, 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 very much top of mind. I don't envy anyone raising children today. I just don't, because it's just difficult. It really is. And I want the best for my grandsons. I want the best for everybody. But the ugly part of it is that these things cost money. So we have to make sure we're spending that money wisely. Our taxes, the biggest chunk of our taxes goes towards public education. So we better make sure we're doing it right. And I don't think we are right now. The regionalization thing, I heard you the other day, Ryan, talking about going to school in Coventry, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to high school in Coventry.
Yep.
Half a middle school. Otherwise, yeah. And it's a large district.
Right. And so, for example, I have a sister who teaches, been a teacher down in Fairfax County, Virginia for over 20 years. Fairfax County is larger than Rhode Island, I think. Yeah. And they have one superintendent, one assistant superintendent. So why is it so difficult for us up here in Rhode Island to look at what other people are doing and say, that makes a lot of sense. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think the overall, from the outside looking in, just it felt like a rushed conversation last time around, and
Correct. Yeah.
a lot of confusion. And when there's confusion, that causes misinformation, disinformation, and all of that. What are some of your ideas to improve education? Obviously, it sounds like you would be open for exploring possibilities of regionalization down the road.
Yes, 100 gabillion%. It came up at the forum. I think we all, and I have to be honest, I was surprised. I thought, I'll be the only one talking about regionalization. But no, I was not. Everybody, almost to a person, said, yes, we should well, where were you guys 2 years ago? What happened, And now we're in for so much money that we kind of have to, or get off the pot about this stuff.
I brought it up in a couple conversations, but with the declining enrollment, and it might be down by 20% over the next certain amount of years or whatever the number was. I think it's good to have the conversation on open right now instead of being forced to do it.
I agree.
You want to be able to make the decision and not have the decision made for you.
Right. And do it right, and do it so that everybody benefits, I don't think there's any reason not to pursue that road. But the other thing too, Ryan, to be honest, I do feel for these children and the stresses that they're under, and you hear all the time now, and the teachers too, that they're dealing with so much more now in the classroom with the mental health of the children, the anxiety, the confusion. That's, after COVID, they're scared of everything. And I just want to go back to where the classroom was a wonderful, safe environment where they felt very, I know it sounds simplistic, but that is what I would like to see a return to. So everybody's not bombarded constantly with other outside factors that children especially shouldn't have to be dealing with.
Yeah. What do we do to fix some of those distractions or those worries that are in the classroom?
Well, I think number one, we shouldn't be expecting our teachers to be counselors and mental health advisors and things like that, things that they were not trained to do. I think that's probably part of what the issue is right now with the school system dispute. Another thing I have to say, Ryan, that I think I was most surprised by doing this is that 40% of the Newport students are non-English speaking, or, it's not their first language. That blew me away as well. So in addition to reading, writing, and arithmetic, the teachers also have to deal with, the ELL or English as a second language, whatever they call it nowadays. And that's got to be a challenge. I'm hearing that they're just not getting the support that they need in the classroom to do the basic things that we expect from our school system.
Yeah. What have you, since you made this crazy decision to run for office? I called it crazy. She did not.
I did.
I think anybody who runs for public office, I thank them wholeheartedly and praise them. Everybody who runs for office, but I think it's crazy for anybody to do. But what have you been hearing since you announced?
I've been hearing a lot of support for keeping it simple. The back to basics part of my platform, if you want to call it. People seem to be warming up to that idea, like, yeah, let's just keep it simple. Like, even things like the cell phone policy. I thought I'd be the only one saying that, but no, everybody now wants to get rid of cell phones. How did they get into the schools to begin with is my question, one of my many questions. Yeah, and I think the parents are, that they kind of have had it with the drama that they send their kids into every single day. Why is there so much homeschooling now, Ryan, and people looking for charter schools when, again, we spend so much money on our public education? What are we doing that is so wrong, right?
Yeah. How do we, I've been asking this question, and it's elicited some, all different answers, actually. How do you judge success in education in Newport? If you were elected as a school committee member, I almost just appointed you to the city council.
Please don't, Ryan.
How would you sit there and say, hey, what we're doing is successful, or education is success? obviously there's test scores. We always have to look at those because that's
And
mandated
speaking of
by-
which, why has our method of testing changed 3 times in the last decade? I mean, I've been told that it's because they weren't making it the first time, so let's tweak it a little bit and maybe be a little bit easier to pass it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. And I don't think testing is the only parameter of success, but when you have children graduating from high school and they really can't read and write too well, and then they go off to try to get a job and they've been wearing pajamas to school for a few years, it's not going to cut it in the workforce. And I think we also have to keep track of our voc tech programs and make sure that we're not axing any of them. Like one friend of mine said, this is a city of trades. Let's use these companies around town and the irises and the defense contractors and let's keep what we have, if not expand on it, because not all these children are going to go to college, and that's fine. You can earn a very good living by going through the voc tech program, and you got no debt when you're done.
There you go. What surprised you the most? Is this your first campaign running for office?
Yes, Ryan, it certainly is.
What has surprised you the most? Let's see, June to July, August, September, October. We're 4 months in. What has surprised you the most about being a politician or potential politician?
Number one, how quickly time is going.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe that this thing will thankfully be over in about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. Like I said, I was greatly surprised by the 40% number of the ELL children in the schools. And I guess I haven't had to pay such close attention to things like the labor dispute until now. And I'm surprised how divisive it is, so I don't have to come up with a nasty word. It's pretty bad. And that old saying, why can't we all just get along? Get this thing fixed. Golly.
Does anything come to top of mind of how you can get it fixed?
You might have to have some changes. There might have to be some changes. It seems like some things have been going for a decade or more. It's not lack of money. There's been plenty of money thrown at these problems. It doesn't seem to be getting better. So maybe a change, a little shakeup across the board would be helpful, and some new faces and some different perspectives. I can't promise that it would be by me by any means, but I just think that some things have been going along for too long.
So you're alluding to maybe some of the leadership in Newport Public School System.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely open to that. Yep.
Anything? Well, let's change it up here. And what is school committee doing well?
What is the school committee doing well? What are they doing well? Well, they go to those meetings every month, and that's a cap in their feather in their cap for just going to those meetings.
Right. Yeah.
I met the candidates at the forum, and I have to say, I truly felt that each and every one of them cares about the students and wants the best for the students. But we are looking at it from different perspectives, which is fine. They seem like everybody gets along. There's no nasty infighting amongst the school committee members. I know some of them have differences, but I didn't see anything ugly or, everybody seems to care about each other. And like I said, the students. So I think everybody has the best of intentions. It's just the method by how we're going to get there.
Yeah. If everybody has the best of intentions and is getting along like it's a good old jamboree, what should people be considering when they are considering, there are 11 candidates.
Yeah.
What should they be considering when they're looking at that long list of names? What do you think they should be considering?
Well, one thing I want to stress that has been stressed to me several times. First of all, you don't have, there's 11 running and 7 make it, right? You don't have to vote for 7 people. Vote for the ones you like or who you believe is going to best represent you and, the school children, teacher, everybody else. So that's really important to remember, that you don't have to vote for all 7. So, you know, again, I can't stress this enough about keeping the education foremost in everybody's minds. You know, Ryan, there are some school districts here in Rhode Island that are downright frightening, some of the things that are going on at them. And I'll just give you an example real quick. There's a school district here in Rhode Island where at the kindergartners open house, the superintendent talked to the children about suicide and cutting. Now, that's exactly what I'm talking about as far as raising children's anxiety and depression and just scaring the bejesus out of them, right? That should not be part of any discussion for kindergartners. You know, keep things age appropriate. That's exactly what I'm alluding to when I say these issues that are brought in from the outside that deter the children from concentrating on why they're in school to begin with. It sounds simplistic again, but I think it's a factor, and I want to make sure that it stays out of the Newport public school system, that kind of thing.
Speaking about factors from the outside, I've been kind of bringing this up with each one. How can we as a community improve how we talk about the schools? You know, many times, especially during political season, and it's political season, so most of the time when we talk about with new candidates, it's what opportunities, what's not being done. But how can we, I don't know, usually with the simile or metaphor I use is, you know, if you say, oh,
Are you there, Ryan?
I was dancing around too much. Can you see me?
Yes.
How do we overly improve just the messaging and share more of the positive things that are going on at Newport Public Schools?
Oh, how can we? Well, another thing I've listened to a few other candidates speak, and they said that there seemed to be a real disconnect between the different levels within the school system. You know, the people, the folks at Pell don't necessarily communicate too much with the folks at Thompson, and then both of them don't have very much discussions at all with Rogers. We could probably do a lot more to bring the three levels of education together. I don't know, maybe mentoring programs, things like that. Maybe they already do that. Have the children, the kids at the high school maybe help out with the younger ones, so that everybody can see what everybody else is doing and offer their point of view on how things could be done better. You know, you can always engage more and bring more people to the table as far as discussing things. And again, I'm not 100% sure how involved the students are with how they're taught and what their concerns might be. Who's talking to the children? Who's saying this must be very disruptive for you? How can we help you get through this difficult time that we're going through and still have you focused on why you're in school to begin with?
What's an issue or topic or something that's not being talked about enough?
Well, I've heard through the grapevine, there are some subjects that maybe are not being covered as much as they should be. And I'm just throwing this out there, and I can't collaborate at 100%. I heard that a couple grades are not teaching history. They're just not teaching history. They're skipping over history for that grade, and I don't know what else they might be teaching. But to me, that seems pretty basic. I mean, I think the fact that, you know, the whole history repeating itself mantra is true. So if these children aren't learning everything they can about history, then, you know, how are they going to go forward having any kind of, you know, perspective on what we've already been through as a country, as a world? To me, it's really important. And I speak of it because as a child moving around the country, I missed certain curriculum, you know, subjects. Like, I never learned anything about Greek history. So I don't, you know, on Jeopardy, if it's about the Greek gods, I know nothing because I skipped that stage. But
oh man, that would be a good question. I should have asked every candidate, what's your Jeopardy category that you're just going to get all 5 questions right?
Mine would be U.S. capitals.
Okay.
Because I've moved all over the place. I know them pretty well.
Maybe we'll have a Jeopardy quiz show sometimes.
No, I'm
So,
pretty, yeah, I'm very, 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 I hope these children have American flags in their classroom. I hope they're saying the Pledge of Allegiance every day. I hope that they're being, that they have a deep love for our country, for their city, for their state. Yeah, that's me going off on my patriotic tangent.
It's okay. What are there any topics or things that we haven't talked about today that you wanted to bring up?
Let me check my notes, Ryan.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Well, I was going to say, when I say get back to basics, I mean that if I'm chosen to be on the school committee, I'm going to vote against anything that's not directly related to reading, writing, arithmetic, the subjects that we are sent to school. We used to be sent to school for. I'm not a fan of other types of programs being brought in. I just want to get back to basics.
Okay. We got that one. Was there anything else in your little
my notes? I don't think so.
Appreciate you doing homework. Well, it means you take these seriously and you're not just jumping on with me and
gosh, no.
Yeah.
I was at my kitchen table for a couple hours this morning, Ryan.
There you go.
So, yeah, I need, it's my first time. I need people to know what I'm talking about.
What question do you think should be being asked of every candidate?
How important do you think getting back to basics is?
Okay. And obviously, you think it's important. So why don't you tell everybody one more time why they should check next to your name, which will appear as Loretta Burke, by the way, on the ballot.
It will. My sign says Lori Burke.
Yes. I've been trying to do that with the people. There's multiple people on school committee that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ryan, I very wisely was talked out of having my slogan, "Don't be a jerk, vote for Burke." So.
Okay. I like that though.
Yeah, it was probably a good move on my part.
See if I can find a way to work that into our story, but remind people one more time, your little elevate speech that they could tell people why they should vote for you and why people should vote for you.
Thanks, Ryan. I think if you vote for me, you're going to have a seat on the school committee that is common sense, not trying to complicate things too much, keeping it simple, stupid, supporting everybody that's in the mix here, the students, most of all, the children, the teachers, the administration, and the parents. And I think if we all can come together around the table for the good of the children, I think we'll be in a much better place.
Laurie, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, ask you a question, talk to you on the phone, visit a website, what do you got?
Sure. So I'll tell you my cell phone, 401-835-0884. And then I got myself a Gmail email address. It's still Lori Burke. Lori Burke, Burke 2005 @gmail.com.
Okay. I'm trying to guess it before. What's the relevance of 2005?
2 girls' birthdays.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Everybody knows my password now.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
You have some time to go change him. Lori, anything else that I didn't get to that we didn't talk about today?
No, again, I just want to stress the fact that I found everybody that is running to be wonderful people, kind and focused on the children. And we just have a few different ideas about how to get there. But I wish everybody the best of luck, no matter what they're running for. And this is no matter what happens, it will have been a wonderful experience. It really, really has been. It's work. There's some work involved, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I've said it before, and I do hope it happens that once this is all over, November 6th, so shortly thereafter, that all the candidates, as well as the ones who are elected, can get together, share all of their ideas, and see if everybody can move everything forward.
I hear you, Ryan. That's a great idea.
So I'm not going to host it, but you guys can.
Well, how about it Innovate? How about that? We'll have it at Innovate.
There you go. I love the you get top award for ceiling, beauty and ceiling.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Open. Yeah. Yeah. We have to have our Innovate party sooner than later for the people that haven't been here yet. Definitely.
Yes. Yeah. That'd be a great idea. Let me know if you do that. And
I will, Ryan.
All right, Lori. Well, very best of luck, and we'll talk
That
to you
wasn't
soon.
so bad. It went by pretty quickly.
See that?
Yeah.
Lori, good luck. We'll talk to you
Thanks so
soon.
much, Ryan. You guys take care.
All right. So that is Loretta Burke, Lori Burke, and she will be on your ballot in the city of Newport. Newport School Committee candidate, one of the 11 who are running. And if you missed any portion of this interview, want to watch again, want to share it, want to listen to it, want to read it, all available on whatsupnoop.com in just a few short minutes. Want to thank you for watching, and we will continue to do this up until the 11th. We'll have 10 out of the 11 school committee members, so you'll be able to find all of those discussions on the website come Friday and shortly after we hold each one. Thanks for watching.